Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
Today's question comes from Meg in Maine. I've been an avid follower for 20 years and I'm debt-free. However, I'm facing a bit of a challenge and would love to get your advice. I travel quite a bit now that I'm semi-retired, and I've been considering getting a travel points credit card. My plan is to charge my travel expenses and large purchases, then pay them off immediately. I feel disciplined enough to handle this without carrying any debt, plus the idea of earning points and not carrying so much cash is appealing. But here's the kicker. Despite having a credit score of 833, I've been turned down for several credit cards since I haven't used one in many years. Do you have any suggestions on how to approach this situation or any alternatives I should consider?
I think you should get a credit card for points if you hate widows, orphans, and those who are struggling to pay their bills.
Whoa, John, shots fired.
Hot
take. What's going on here?
So I remember I was, it's not for Ramsey. I was moving. I was taking a long move, and the business I was moving would reimburse my move. There's a whole family, one of the big old monster trucks. But I had to front it. So I thought, oh man, I'm going to open up a credit card and with points on it, and I'll make just free points because I'm just going to turn around and this new company that I'm working for is going to reimburse me for the move. So I did that. And I remember getting a whole bunch of free points for opening the card. And then I got a whole bunch more points for this massive amount of money I spent right out of the gate to move my whole family. And then I was literally driving down the road and I remember thinking, wait a minute, the credit card company's not my friend. And the airline company's not my friend. Like, they're not hooking me up. Like, bro, you spent money with us, we're going to hook you up. Somebody's paying for this flight. And somebody's paying for these hotel stays. And when I dug into it, that's when, to my horror, I realized, oh, it's not the companies. It's not the credit card companies, not the airline, it's not the hotels that are paying for these rooms. It's the single mom with 3 kids who just left an abusive relationship, who is struggling to feed her kids, who puts this credit card in, and then her boss cuts her hours, and she gets a $50 late fee or a $39 late fee, or her APR goes from 13 to 29% in 1 month. She's paying for my flight. Or the single dad whose wife just passed away, and like they're scrambling and scrambling. He opens up a credit card out of desperation, and then he misses a payment, and it balloons on. That guy's paying for my flights. And it all of a sudden got very gross for me. Like, I don't want to be a part of this system. I travel, you and I travel a lot. I travel all the time. I'd rather pay for my own flights or work out a business arrangement with the company that's paying me to come speak for them than ever think I have some single mom who can't put food on her table, pay my bills. And it just got gross for me real fast.
Yeah, I mean, you
did some research on this, right?
There's a moral argument to be made. Yeah, in my book, Breaking Free from Broke, here's the quote from the book. A 2023 study by the Federal Reserve. They set out to determine who pays for these credit card awards, and the results, though expected, are alarming. In the report, the Fed said, we estimate an aggregate annual redistribution of $15 billion, from less to more educated, from the poorer to richer, and from high to low minority areas, widening existing disparities.
Simple.
And it gets worse, John, as I dug into it. Families with household incomes below 40 grand are less likely to even qualify for these rewards, but they're more likely to pay late fees and additional interest. The families making 100 grand or more, obviously more likely to have access to these reward cards and less likely to pay late fees and interest. So it's not saying you're a bad person if you use the rewards. This is not like a moral argument to say John is a better person than you.
I mean,
but
I'm just
John
kidding.
John sleeps better at night because of it.
Yeah.
And can you play the game? Sure. Is it worth the 2%? Let's say you spend 25 grand. I mean, is it really worth that?
Well, they put in huge font, cash back.
Yeah.
Right? Cash back.
Well, and they go, well, it's points now, John. It's not cash.
Oh, it's points.
What's 100,000 points? I don't know. It's like Chuck E. Cheese. You spend $100 at Chuck E. Cheese to get a thing that's actually worth $7.
Right. So you get like a cool monogrammed Bluetooth speaker. Like, because I got 100,000 points.
It's a no-name brand.
Yeah.
You get some, one of those sticky hands, and a pack of gum, and you're like, I spent $20 for this.
Refurbished, like New Balances, right?
So can it be done? Can you be super disciplined and beat the system? Sure. I don't think it's worth the brain calories and the energy and the money spent to try to do it personally.
And if you, I mean, geez, I don't want to make it a moral issue, but I want to call these programs to task. if you like the idea of of wealth being redistributed from the least of these in our communities to pay for your flights and hotels, knock your lights out. For me, George, it just got gross. And again, we could line up the things that that I need to work on. I'm not a better person than anybody, but in this one particular thing, this is just a hot button issue with me.
Yeah.
The banks aren't your friends. The credit card companies aren't your friends. The airline companies are not your friends. They're running businesses. They would not be giving you these flights if they weren't making that money up somewhere else, right? There's an old saying in the internet world: if you get online and you log in and you have to put your email address in for free, and you get a product for free, you're the product, right? They want you. Right. So it's similarly asking that next layer question. Who's paying for these flights, actually? Who's paying for the advantage I just think I got? Because they're not hooking you up like your friend or your neighbor.
Well, when you think about this, let's say you do spend $25,000 a year on travel. I think we'd all agree that's a lot. Someone's traveling a lot with $25,000 a year. And 2%, it's $500. Mm-hmm. You could put $40 in a savings account every month and give yourself the rewards.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so you're never going to convince me, because of humans being emotional creatures, that psychologically you're not going to spend $500 more on that card over the course of a year because you're going, well, I'll get some points. Might as well get the nicer flight.
Well, and if you fly like if you fly Southwest or American, you fly these companies all the time, you get flight points for participating. I'm okay with that. Right, because they're marking up your ticket, and they're going to give you a piece. That's fine.
If I fly 25 times with Southwest, I'll get a free flight.
Knock your lights out. That's fantastic. That's awesome. It's that next level of, hey, my gasoline, my Snickers bar, my whatever, your haircuts, which is that's a lot of money.
I'd get some serious cash back. But instead, here's what I do with my haircuts, John. I pay cash, and I get a discount.
I do, because we use the same barber. He gives a cash discount.
Exactly. So I'm like, well, I'm making more by paying cash than by swiping my card, which, by the way, hurts the small business owner.
Right.
Because they've got to now pay the 3% fee or pass it on to you.
Right.
All to get my 2% cash back. So either way, you are not the one winning. It's the card processing companies. It's Visa. It's MasterCard. It's Amex. It's Discover. It's Southwest. It's Delta. And these are not evil companies. This is just how they do business, and you need to understand how they're marketing to you. There's a reason they're always offering you, hey, John, you're so wonderful. Here's more line of credit. We're going to give you an extra $5,000 in credit that you can spend. You're telling me psychologically I don't get the dopamine hit that tells me I am winning. The banks love me.
Yeah, they love you. So I don't know. As for me and my house, we solve for peace. And if I can opt out of a system, I like that.
Yep.
I like that.
And this is truly how we love. People think, well, they just have to say that on air. Dave secretly, no, you can check his wallet. You can check any of our wallets. There is not a single credit card to be found. And it's not because we're scared of Dave finding out. It's because we truly have no need for them.
Just opt out of the system.
Once we started following the Ramsey plan, we're like, oh, we can just use our own money and have freedom and control over our life? Great. Sign me up. Screw the rewards. It's just, again,
where's
this goes
that
back
George
to
Campbell
simplicity.
t-shirt?
Screw your rewards. I like the one that says "Go fund yourself." That one I'm still trying to get as part of Ramsey merch.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know that Dave's going to go for it yet.
He could.
I like that, though.
He's not here a lot on the show.
Imagine if America said, go fund yourself. Go fund your own retirement. Go fund your own credit card rewards. And America would be a better place instead of making banks and lenders richer.
If you made a shirt that said "Go fund yourself" and I made one that said "That gives me hemorrhoids," you and I would both...
We'd be billionaires.
America would buy those t-shirts.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.